Step 5 is called passive ventricular. Yep, it sure does. And I hate the fact that they took the word passive off there. Passive ventricular filling. That word passive is completely important to what's going on here. What does passive mean? Right. It means everything's relaxed in the heart. That means that both chambers are still relaxed. That means the heart is not doing work. But while these chambers are relaxed and while the heart's not doing work, don't we have these little things called blood vessels? Aren't they attached back to the heart? And isn't the body pushing blood back? Well, really, the heart pushed it out. It goes through the vessels. It goes from high to low. But it comes back to the heart, right? Now, because the heart has been at rest for a little brief microsecond, the blood that is in here, that is now in the atrium, builds up just a little pressure and pushes right through that valve. That opens up this valve right here and right here. And blood now flows into the ventricles. The AV valves are opened in this step. And you bet those semiliters better still stay shut because we don't want the blood leaving those chambers, right? I saved this step for last because it's so important and I want it to stick. If I did it at first, it would create confusion. So we start where we know. We start with the atria contracting and pushing blood which way? Down. And what valves are open when we do that? AV valves are open. Notice how I said that. They're already open because this last step opens them. This last step, the pressure in the heart opens up that valve and blood moves right through there. Is the atria doing any pushing? No, it is completely relaxed. It's the pressure coming from the blood vessels, from the body. Or really, if we're on this side of the heart, from the lungs. On the other side. And it pushes that chamber open and blood moves down into the ventricles. This is passive. The ventricles, by the way, this is so fascinating, guys. 80% of ventricular filling is passive right here. Most of the ventricle filling up with blood is right here. What happens right after this? We start all over, the atria contract, and in atrial systole, I'll just write it here because it's starting all over again, the remaining 20% of the filling occurs. So most ventricular filling is passive, and then the atria just contract and top it off. I absolutely positively love to either ask questions about this or just flat out an essay question over the whole thing. You should own blood flow through the heart. If you own blood flow through the heart, you can also tell me what each chamber is doing and what each valve is doing and where the flow is going in each of these 5 steps. So this is a great, thorough question to see how well you put it all together. These are the mechanical events of a heartbeat. That's why we use words contract and relax and systole and diastole. Are there electrical events that lead to this? And what words do we associate with the electrical events? Depolarization and repolarization. Atrial depolarization leads to atrial systole. So we could actually look back, check out how fun this gets. We could look back at a picture like this and go up from atrial contraction. Watch this. As we go up, 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 we see an EKG. We see the P wave, atrial depolarization happens need to make this smaller. This is when I wish I had a Mac in here. It wouldn't be doing this. I promise. It wouldn't. This slide right here has everything on it. Oh my goodness, it's talking about pressure, it's talking about what's happening in the chambers, it's talking about the EKG. Look, it even puts the heart sounds right here. Atrial depolarization. Then the atrial repolarizes and the ventricle depolarizes. When the ventricle depolarizes, it starts the contraction of the heart. The contraction of the heart in this phase pushes the blood up, which closes the first heart valve. There's your first heart sound. Then we get ventricular repolarization, right? Then it relaxes after that, and we get the closing right at the beginning of the relaxation. It's really cool. Really, really cool. Pretty good picture. So here's showing us the electrical events. Here's showing us the mechanical events. Here's showing the pressure. And here's the heart sounds. All on one nice cool thing. I love these pictures down here because they show you blood flow with the little chambers. And really, most of our focus is on the ventricles here.